and welcome to ARK Genesis Part 2. My name is GG and I'm going to be your guide for explaining all the new and exciting things coming to Genesis Part 2. So sit back or relax and enjoy, and let's get started.
Hang on! Can't seem to find you!
Oh man, that's really got you good. No worries, just hang in there for a second. There! Good news. Your armor kept you mostly in one piece. So, quick update. This isn't a simulation. We're really on a ginormous spaceship. And the ship's being taken over by...
Now what are you two little gnats up to? This is to be mine. The first of them.
Okay, time to get away from all these tentacles and prying eyes. This might feel a bit weird.
When creating a new character or transferring your old character from another map, you will once again be greeted by Helena, HLN-A. She will be your guide to the Genesis ship. Just like on Genesis Part 1, she has a hexagon shop where you can now buy enneagram points. So if you ever felt that you never had enough enneagram points, well, there you go. You have infinite amount of enneagram points you can purchase, but be aware they do scale quite drastically when you purchase a lot of them. On a side note, you can also bring over hexagons from Genesis Part 1, but for officials, this will be disabled until transfers are live, so be aware on that. So when spawning in, you will also have the new EXO-Federation Tek armor equipped to your survivor that has the same armor value as hide. Granted, not the best, but it's basically a free-flying suit for Genesis. When you are on the Genesis ship, you will not need element to power the suits. But if you bring it to other ARKs, you will need element to power the suit. If you die, you will also receive a new one, and note you cannot grind the suit. Now let's talk about the new biomes, which are Space, SUMP, Rockwell's Proliferation, Rockwell's Garden, and finally, Eden. Let's start with Space, one of the more interesting biomes in my opinion. Every 24 hours in game time, the space biome will change to a new asteroid belt. Each asteroid belt has a different resource you can farm. There are multiple different asteroids belt, but the one that I think most people are going to be very interested in is the element one. This one is going to be the more rare one, but more profitable one, if you know what I mean. Next up is Sump. Holds all the water on the ship and is the new water cave biome. Rockwell's Proliferation is your late game area that we'll come back to later in the video, as there's a lot to explain in this new zone. So if you're an adventurer like me and like to challenge yourself, you can start in the hardest region, Rockwell's Gardens. But watch out for the carniflora, as if you get caught, it could be your downfall. If you're a newcomer to ARK, or if you want to be a smart survivor, you should probably start in Eden. This is your typical starter region where you can begin completing missions, which will reward you with new items that can help you survive and also repair the ship's functions. Missions are a big part of Gen 2, as your job is to complete the mission to fix the ship and get back on track from Rockwell shutting down systems to benefit himself. To start a mission, head to one of the new dispatchers located throughout the maps. To easily find one, open your inventory and go to the mission tab. There you can see all the new missions where you can easily track one to find the closest dispatcher. After completing a mission, you will gain a new buff, World Effect. That effect affects everyone on that server. I recommend doing gamma missions early, as you can be rewarded with a lot of cool items, and that effect, depending on the mission, can be very, very beneficial.
Look at you, top of the leaderboard. Now we can grow all the little scrappers on the ship faster and stronger.
Alrighty, so now we're gonna go and cover some of the new items in Genesis Part 2. We're not gonna go over all of them, but I'm gonna pick a couple of them that I think will be very crucial and very informative to you guys for your new survival in Genesis Part 2 and moving forward on all other maps, because a lot of these are really cool and really useful. Alrighty, so let's start with the Canoe. The Canoe, it can be learned at level 8. It's pretty reasonable for crafting. It just needs fiber, hide, thatch, and wood. And it's pretty cool. You can have up to 3 people, passengers, rowing with it. If you have 3 people rowing in it, it will be faster than a normal raft, which is really cool. The Canoe also acts as a respawn anchor, a bed, and you can also store cooked foods and items in there that have a decay timer that will also increase the timer of the resources. So it's pretty cool, pretty interesting, pretty useful, and you can pick it up. I mean, what else more is there? Oh, plus there's skins for it too. It's pretty cool. Go do canoe race missions. You can get all the different skins for them. My favorite's the Viking one. Next is the Tek Canine. It is level 101 to learn. It's not terribly too expensive to make. It is 6 cementing paste, 5 element, 2 metal ingots, and 10 polymer. And basically it can hold up to 3 times the amount of water, and also gives you a refreshing buff when you drink it. Pretty cool. Next up is net projectile, which is net arrow technically. You need this ammo type to be used in a harpoon, and basically this allows you to disarm people, meaning movement, and also creatures to a certain size comparison. So let's just say the Allosaur is kind of one of the bigger creatures they can disarm and stop its movement. So it's pretty cool. It's going to be really useful for kind of mid-game to late game taming, hell, even early game taming if you can get a bunch of nets and harpoons. So it's a really useful item and a really unique item, so definitely check it out. Alrighty, so next up is the Hoversail. You want to ditch actually taming creatures? Well, this is for you. This is probably one of the best things for mobility that is besides a creature. It's lightweight, you can pick it up, store it away, and also have a passenger. It's probably the best mobility item in the game. Period. It really is. You can do tricks, you can actually fly a little bit as well, and it's relatively pretty cheap to craft. It's got crystal, electronics, elements, metal ingots, and polymer. The downside for it though is you cannot leave it out. It does have a decay timer for 1 hour, but to prevent it from being, how would you say, exploding, just pick it up and it will save its timer. As soon as you place it down and get back on, it also removes the timer as well. There's also passenger seating, so if someone's not really good at driving or doesn't have a creature, you can just pick them up with this and on your way. The last item I want to talk about for this video is the egg incubator, because this is probably a very crucial new item for official play, and I just want to briefly talk about it real quickly. It's pretty simple and pretty amazing. It unlocks at level 89. It's pretty cheap. It needs cementing paste, crystal, electronics, metal ingots, and polymer. Obviously, it's not terribly too cheap, so it won't be an early game thing. Definitely going to be a mid to late game item for usage, but it's pretty incredible because you can now regulate creatures' temperature and hatch them. It's really cool. All right, so the first thing you need to do is get a bunch of eggs. Doesn't matter, just get a couple. Put it in the inventory of the egg incubator. You can now see what your actual baby stats are going to be and their colors and mutations. This is crazy. You can see everything you need to know about your baby before it's even hatched. Next, you go to the right side of the egg incubator where you can adjust the temperature of the egg requirement. Now, you want to get it to be around the green line in the middle of the eggs because that will allow the eggs hatch to be quicker. Now, give it a little bit minute, depending on your server ping and networking, whatever, it sometimes doesn't update very quickly, so just be patient when you're trying to regulate the actual egg temperature. After your egg is ready, all you need to do now is open the inventory of the egg incubator, click on your egg, and then hatch egg. And there you go. Pretty simple, pretty amazing, and pretty incredible, I have to say. Now, there is a lot other items from Genesis Part 2, but sadly, we don't have enough time in this video to go explaining each and every one of them. I just wanted to pick out my top 5, because I'm pretty sure these top 5s are pretty incredible and important for people to know about. But the other ones, obviously, they're really good, just don't have enough time for that. But that's okay, we can put them in other videos in the future. Alrighty, so now let's talk about Mutagen, what it is, and all of its many usages.
That looks to be the stuff that Rockwell's been using to augment and aggro all these weird creatures. Maybe you could use it against him. You know, fight fire with fire. Bet he won't expect you to use his precious mutagen to beef up your own critters. Can't wait to see the look on his, faces when you sick those muties on him. Just be careful handling that stuff in the meantime, yeah?
Mutagen is an organic element that can be found only in Rockwell's proliferation biome. It is an extremely, and I mean extremely, rare resource to find. To find this resource, you need to head deep into the ship's core where Rockwell has infested the systems. There can only be 3 nodes up at a time, and with a respawn timer of 8 hours in-game, it's definitely going to be a challenge to find one of these guys. Now be aware, when harvesting the mutagen, it can spawn up to 1 to 3 summoners in a fleet of microphases. Summoners spawn infested variants of all creatures in the game to attack you. Mutagen has several different uses. It's used as a taming food for some creatures. It can be used to boost base stats of tames with no ancestries by 5%, which is transferred to the breeding line. The stats that are boosted are health, stamina, weight, and damage, and this can only be used once. It can be used to boost the stats of tames with ancestries with no mutations by 20%, which is not transferred to the breeding lines. The stats that are boosted are health, stamina, weight, and damage. This can be only used also once. There is also something called Mutagel, which can be harvested in Rockwell's stomach acid under the beating heart. This mutagel can also be used to tame some creatures and can be converted back to mutagen in the chem bench. Well, there it is, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I hope that informed you all on ARK Genesis Part 2. There's so much information to go. I kind of really try to pinpoint the most important things and also give you kind of a strategy guide on kind of what to do when you actually start, because I know a lot of you guys are going to be like, what am I doing? I don't know what to do. What's good? What's not? Let's just be honest. My honest opinion, I've been playing this map for 2 months now. I actually got the QA for Wildcard and also did the trailer. It's amazing. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. The creatures are fun. It's got 95% of all the creatures on the map. It has all 90, I think it's got 98% of resources or 100%. It's incredible. I don't know what else to say. Like, I'm very impressed, very happy, and super excited to play Genesis. So if you liked the video, make sure you like, subscribe, and follow. If you want to enter a giveaway, feel free. I'm doing a plushie giveaway and also season pass giveaway on my Discord right now. We're gonna be doing that for the next couple weeks. Thank you to Wildcard once again for fucking just being there, man. Without Wildcard, I wouldn't be in this position and I wouldn't be able to do what I love. So thank you very much, Wildcard. for all the help you've done throughout the years. Thank you very much. And thank you very much to the fans and everyone that's been watching. Stay tuned because we got a lot of taming guide videos, and then we got some survival play. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. We'll see you guys on my server. Take care. Have a good one.